Welcome. My name is Matt Cohen, and I'm the visionary and president for Replenex. Replenex is an 80-year-old industrial supply company that was founded by my grandfather and great-grandfather in 1946. This video is part of a series that we are producing to recognize our 80-year history of providing reliable supply chains to manufacturers throughout North America. Don and I are very happy today to be joined by Kyocera, and I'm going to let Mark and Jake introduce themselves for you.
Mark Stockinger with Kyocera SGS Precision Tools, the Chief Sales Officer.
And Jay Cutler, I'm with the Kyocera Indexable side.
So talk to us a little bit about your field sales team and their technical ability and how they support our customer. Also maybe talk a little bit about Apex.
So let me start with that. First of all, our overall field strategy, we have a number of resources that are built in to support those efforts back behind the scenes, behind the curtain, if you will. Whether it's our R&D team offering application engineering support, or whether it's our robust schedule of tool clinics that we make available to all parties, or also, the Apex. And Jake, why don't you talk a little bit about the Apex and how that could be something that can be utilized from a tool application standpoint?
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially the Apex, it takes different parameters based off material types and what the desired outcome is. And essentially it gives you real world starting parameters based off of certain criteria. So depending on, if customers are getting into, new parts, let's say the average job shop who they see a variety of different materials, on a daily basis. Let's say that they're starting and bidding out a job in a new material type that they've never worked with before. So essentially that Apex, it'll actually go in, it'll give you some very usable material parameters for that specific material type so that your probability of producing a good part on the first part is much higher. And secondary in that, we all thrive and we're looking how we can give customers cost savings at that point in time. And if customers aren't running things in the correct fashion and stuff, then realistically it will give us an opportunity for cost savings. Additionally, if there is better efficiencies, which is, let's be honest, our favorite form of cost savings to pass on to customers, right. More throughput equals more money at that point in time. So it'll also give us a set of parameters that allows them to be able to, program at more advanced parameters of that.
So when you look at tooling inventory and all of the things that go into ensuring that product can flow to the end use customer freely as possible, it's a lot, because you look at a company like ours has 50,000 line items that we offer in the cutting tool space, right? So how can a supplier effectively have all of that in inventory at any given time, right, based on the need that might present itself? It's almost impossible, right? So we have to manage that process as best we can. And in doing so, a tool like the Apex not only recommends the best solution, but it can give alternatives at the same time, which is critical. So if option A, for some reason or another, is not available, then we can go down through other options that will at least get the job done, right, and serve the customer well.
Well, the resources are there, the training's there, so end users, if you have bottlenecks or problem parts, issue parts, want to enhance productivity, extend tool life, give us a call.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, and it sounds like the tool, because there is option A, option B, option C, if option A doesn't work the way that it's intended to work, it shortens the time that it takes to figure out what your next best options are. Or if you're running option A in a high production facility and there is a problem, there is a supply chain delay, an act of God that something goes wrong with shipping or whatever it is, you know immediately how to move to an option B that will provide the same result, which again, if our goal is to have a reliable supply chain that keeps manufacturing up and moving and cost effective, what a great tool to do that.
Well, and you spoke to reliability earlier, and when I started here 13 years ago, you've been here 8 of those 13 now, that we had that customer when I started here, and we still have that customer, so Absolutely. Something's reliable. And core values are clearly part of that reliability.
Absolutely. And one of the other cool things, if you don't mind me adding to it, when we are talking about, some production, that is one of the areas that we are able to really fill a big need for customers out there. So as Mark had mentioned previously, as part of our technical support channel, we do have application engineers in the field who are there to help assist, especially on applications that are a little bit more challenging. And the beauty of that is we're able to take a look at the process holistically and do the best, figure out exactly what they're doing and where we can improve efficiency, whether that's using standard products or sometimes in those high production atmospheres, a custom product where we're able to eliminate certain operations or do multiple operations altogether. That's going to be the best one that reduces their cycle time and shows them big savings.
That's where our value is, right? Customers want us to bring solutions, fix their problems.
Absolutely. I completely agree, especially when you take a look at the entire sales cycle in itself. That's how some of those long-lasting relationships, from my perspective, are really built. If you're able to help a customer solve their problems on a daily basis, it's always resulted in long-term relationships for us.
And that's what they need. The engineers need it. They need another set of eyes. They need solutions.
The other thing that comes into play too is the cutting tool market is very broad to begin with, right? It's made up primarily in our channel of indexable products and round tool products. And earlier we talked about Kyocera making the acquisition of the SGS tool company, which was more focused on round tools.
Right.
Because we're able to offer a broad range of tooling to the channel for the first time in North America, right? So under the Kyocera brand. And we still utilize the SGS brand, but we also have maintained, I'll call it subject matter experts in the process, okay? So in our field, field representatives are made up of either an indexable focused salesperson or support person and a round tool focused sales and support person. So we think that that's maybe a little, that's not a customary approach across the channel for cutting tool suppliers, but it's one that we've maintained, and we think it serves us well in that ability to service the channel partner and also to service the end user well.
There's a visibility, or there's a perspective that when you are focused on round tools, that you come into an opportunity with that is different than when you are coming in focused on indexable tooling. The toolboxes, if you will, are different.
Yes.
The bag of tricks, so to speak. And that is one of the things that I think Don and I can say we really respect about how Kyocera has chosen to both integrate the SGS and SGS products into the mix to create the 50,000 SKUs, but also a way to keep them separate so that Jake and his counterparts who focus on the round tools really can come to the customer and provide specific value from a specific perspective, which just gives more opportunities to demonstrate value or bring cost savings to the market.
For sure. And Mark, I think that it's practical and it resonates with the end user too. They understand that and it makes sense and it's logical to them.
Yeah.
So Mark, Jake, what's new and exciting for this coming year? What should our field sales team and our end users be excited about?
So some of the main things that we're going to be taking a look at for this next year is going to be really a focus into medical device manufacturing. Obviously, we all know that that is a very, very strong industry right now.
Absolutely.
And we do have a strong portfolio, so we're expecting some expansions. So whether that's some new grades and substrates, new chip breakers, or new tooling systems altogether, that's certainly going to be a focus, within the next 6 months to the next 24 months at that point in time. That's one that we're continuing to invest massive R&D efforts into. Additionally, on top of that, aerospace manufacturing. I know that's not huge locally, however, that is still a big target. But when you take a look at some of those products within that, it does apply down to certain job shop levels. You take some of those items that are produced in those industries and they do apply more material specifically. So in that area, we're taking a look at, more aluminum machining, really targeting that market more. And then, just as far as what we've done in the last, we'll say 3 to 5 months, it's been a lot of stuff that has been targeted for job shops with some of the new milling series that we have out there, as well as some of the new turning inserts, whether that's being targeted for steel or cast iron or, small part manufacturing with stainless steels and heat-resistant alloys and such.
Matt, on the round tool side, we also have some exciting things to talk about too. We have a full line of high feed mills that we're getting we'll be launching this year.
Oh, wow.
As well as a ceramic end mill, which is another area that is more of an advanced process.
Is that a new to market, a ceramic end mill? I feel like I haven't heard a lot about ceramic end mills. I've heard other alloy end mills, but ceramic sounds new.
Ceramic is not new to the market.
Okay.
There are some ceramic mills that are offered out in the marketplace. However, it's more of a niche market. And if you're operating in industries that are machining Inconel, for example,
Oh, yeah.
it becomes a tool of choice for that particular market segment. And so that is something that we've been focused on for some time. We're a ceramic company. So it made sense for us to have a ceramic end mill.
What a great enhancement.
Yes, and we'll be expanding some aspects of our drill offering as well,
Okay, great.
to continue our move to be a little bit more relevant in that part of the channel and the market. And also, I will say that we have some exciting things coming with respect to mold and die.
I thought Replenex celebrating its 80th anniversary was exciting, but then I hear what Kyocera is up to, and it just adds to my excitement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
I was thinking maybe 2 or 3 things, and you guys just gave us 20.
I know. And in recognition of our 80th anniversary, I'm really proud to offer our end users a special promotion that is tied to this partnership, this historic partnership, because again, my 81-year-old dad can't seem to remember when it started. And he's really sharp, I gotta say. But he can't remember a time when we weren't with Kyocera, and so it just makes the partnership more special this year. And what we're gonna do for the channel is a special promotion that everybody can go learn about when they go to replenex.com/Replenex 80. That's Replenex 80. And the special promotion that you're helping us bring to the market will be featured there. And we're going to be able to use all of the new tools that you're bringing to the market and the Apex opportunity to really capture, share, and bring value to the customers. So I really appreciate you guys being here, and thank you for all you do to make Replenex and our customers together better.
Thanks, guys.
And if I could,
Yes.
please, on behalf of Kyocera, SGS Precision Tools, and the Kyocera Corporation, we congratulate Replenex on their 80th anniversary, and we look forward to many years of good business together.
Amen, brother.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys so much.